whenever the Republicans take control of the House, Senate, and the presidency, the first thing they do is cut taxes. That was true for Trump. First act as an elected president was to put forward and support a tax cut that was largely written by the House and the Senate in previous years. He added some very important pieces to it, taking the corporate income tax all the way to 15 that he was pushing for. Uh, and then we won that fight. And that's what gave us growth in 2019 of very strong growth.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't talk about it very much, or maybe that's part of it, right? I mean, one of the criticisms of Trump, he's not taking victory laps. He moves so quickly, and the Democrats kind of owned the debate on the shutdown a little bit until they didn't, like yesterday. They decided to flip, but he wasn't really pushing back much. But anyway, keep going there. But so he took the yeah.
And then again, as soon as he got reelected in 2024, his first project was a $4 trillion tax cut and making it permanent, not just out 10 years, but permanent. So the central act, the big beautiful bill, was largely a series of tax cuts. Now, also some good budget cuts. And if you're cutting taxes, you are limiting the amount of money available to people to spend and waste and use to hire Democratic precinct workers, which is what they do with the money. You let them have it. Uh, so if you look at the states, there have been there is something called Oobleck Republicans. Do you remember the Dr. Seuss story of Oobleck, where the king is very unhappy? It's a children's story. Very unhappy because he's bored of fog, rain, and snow and sun. Boring, boring, boring. Like tax cuts, spending cuts, deregulations, trying to fit. Boring. Okay. And so can't we try something new? So he was, and so they invented. He had his wizards invent Oobleck. Oobleck comes down. It's green. It sticks everything together. The next 10 pages of the book are everybody being stuck together and not being able to get anything done. Finally, he has to apologize, and then the Oobleck goes away. Uh, there are constantly, and this is not just in the last couple of years, although you've seen it again a couple of years ago. The new guy gets on the block and he says, "I want to be a public intellectual," and somebody needs to tell him this is not France. Public intellectuals in Sartre, Camus are considered interesting in France. Here, no. Okay, we want to hear the guy who builds rockets. Okay, that's pretty cool. Uh, but the guy who comes up with a new theory of how the rest of us should run our lives is not terribly interesting. And so they go, oh, let's try something new other than tax cuts, deregulation, and the Constitution. It really is yesterday's news.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah, people wanna have a novel approach to things, right? And there is a generation of people, of kids who don't know 1986 tax cuts, for example, or even who Ronald Reagan was. They have no idea. And, so you're educating a whole new generation of people inside. And as they say, young, you're a liberal hippie, and then you get older, you become a conservative because you start paying taxes, right?